Yes.
Seconds.
However many seconds we've got, I'm hearing it in all kinds of places here. Anyway, folks, welcome to issue 18 of Comic Book Spectrum. And thank you, folks. Having a little bit of issues here. Hope you're all having a very, very good night. And welcome to Comic Book Spectrum.
Welcome to Comic Book Spectrum, a Rising Tide Broadcast Network production. Get ready to explore the world of comics, past, present, and future, with our panelists Eric Hawkins, Brian Rodman, and Clyde Hall. And now here's your host, Brian K. Morris.
All right. Welcome to Comic Book Spectrum. I'm having some sound issues here right now. There we go. Can the panel hear me? Can the panel hear me? Okay, good. Okay, good. I'm getting like all kinds of delay on here. Sorry about that, folks. Sorry about this. We're trying to be a little slicker than usual. But anyway, let's see if I can fix this. Anyway, let's just go on with the show, and I'll fix this on my side. Anyway, folks, welcome to Comic Book Spectrum number 18 for June 24th, 2021. Hope all's going well with you. We're playing a really good next 90 minutes or so. We're going to talk about comics. We're going to review some stuff, and we're going to have our usual panel who are always so good. But first of all, we're going to have Plasma Fire Graphics. Check out what they do. They can do comic book covers too, just so you know. Plasma Fire Graphics, when the look of your book matters to you. Check out what Jeffrey Hayes can do for you at plasmafiregraphics.com. They also have a Facebook page. They do all kinds of great covers for your books, your comics, also graphics to help you sell the same, and also groovy book trailers like you just saw. Plasma Fire Graphics, when the look of your book matters to you. And also, going to give a great big shout out to the Rising Tide Broadcast Network. Check out these shows, and we've got more on the way because there's all kinds of cool stuff happening right now with us. We've got, there we go, I'm back on the right page. Anyway, we've got 7 days a week's worth of entertainment and information. Check us out. And let's see, tonight we've got Amy Hale. We'll be interviewing Eric Asher, an incredible self-publisher and also steampunk writer, very successful. And he's working it. He's doing it right. Check out what he's got to say. You will enjoy it. He's also a really, really good guy. And at 9 p.m. tonight is Stupid O'Clock. 9 p.m. all times are Eastern, with all of our friends on the panel there who are going to take you to that great after convention hours talk that you just love. You don't know where it started. You don't know how you got at the end, but it's always a good time. But anyway, please check that out. And also, don't forget, tomorrow morning, we will have Karen Nicole, the one, the only, great cosplayer, great writer, colorist and bubbly personality. She's going to get up at the crack of dawn just to be on Nevermind the Furthermore, and we're going to hate on Facebook for a couple hours. It's going to be fantastic. You will love it, I'm sure. Anyway, we also want to thank our Patreon subscribers. Patreon is a monthly subscription service where you can support your favorite creators directly, but you also get stuff for it. So if you want to see what I'm offering, check out www.patreon.com/Brian K. Morris. All right. And now I'm going to put on my ears again because I was hearing all kinds of stuff earlier. And we'll see if the sound is getting any better. But we also want to bring in our panel here. Gentlemen, let's get me out of here. Yeah, this has been... I'm having technical issues here, and I finally figured out what it was. So
Brian's finally hearing the voices, everyone. It's, in his headphones, all he can hear in his headphones are the power of Christ compels you. So yeah.
No, the voices in my head are so loud. I'm surprised all three of you can't hear them. You know
what that was?
Yeah. No, I was hearing.
What do they sound like, Brian?
And I realized what it was. I had a. Yeah. Exactly.
Wait. No, you had your YouTube on too, didn't you?
Yeah.
There it is.
Rookie.
Gosh. I know.
Boomer.
Here I was talking to somebody today about what professional outfit we run here. Yeah.
Wait.
Well, anyway, folks, now that you've seen what I am totally incapable of doing, which is running a show, I'm going to bring in three people who actually know how to give us a good time and some great stuff here.
And
the first person,
I know. What the heck, man? You replacing us?
Come on.
Well, next week, Joe D. McPhee will be joining us, and he's going to replace all four of us is what it is. We love you, Joe. We do love you, man. From the Desk of a Small Press Publisher every Saturday night at 10 p.m. Eastern, 9 p.m. Central. And also, he's going to have Karen Nicole on his program, too. Expect a good time. And speaking of for a good time, who to call, here he is. Please introduce yourself, Mr. Brian Rodman.
Well, hello, everyone. How are you? My name is Brian Rodman. You can find me at brianrodman.com, all my social media stuff. I have a Kickstarter going on right now for the Nebulizer. It is a post-apocalyptic action comedy about a chronic asthmatic and his feisty AI-controlled nebulizer suit as they fight through a world of a post-apocalyptic world filled with allergen mutants. It's like Bubble Boy meets I Am Legend with a dash of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. And it is fantastic. It's ridiculous. It's fun. It's going to make you laugh. It's going to make you tear up a little bit. You're going to love it. And the last day to back the book is tomorrow. It ends tomorrow night at 8 p.m. So go head here after the show or open a new tab and definitely go check out all the tiers because it's almost over. So, yeah, that's me. Ready for a good show.
Yeah. Now we got all the mistakes out of the way. No. The only tears there will be is if you miss out on the Nebulizer #1.
Listen to the voice, everyone.
That's right. I do. Anyway, here he is now. Also, the creator of the Zombieful World of Oz, Mr. Eric S. Hawkins. There we go. Oh, that's a pretty book.
Yes. This was one of the variant covers of issue 2. I believe this was the Kickstarter exclusive variant. So I am the creator of Zombieful World of Oz, artist and writer. You can still find out Indiegogo if you want. I just ordered all the books. I've ordered everything now. Everything's been ordered. It will start fulfilling in basically 2 weeks. So if you still want to get an issue, head over to Indiegogo and look for it.
Most excellent. And I know that he's already got Eric's already got the issue 3 edits in.
Yeah, that's why it went to the printer today.
Very good. I did my part. I want everyone to know I did my part. Anyway.
Look for those commas, people.
That's right. Count each and every one of them.
Freaking commas. God, I hate them.
No, he had the right amount of commas, but he just had where the periods should be. Anyway, now moving on. Here he is, the gold standard of criticism, Mr. Clyde Hall.
Hi, I'm Clyde Hall. Apparently, I'm the person that everybody says call for a good time, according to Brian. I don't know. I've seen those. I've seen the things written on bathroom walls, so I guess he's equating us to bathroom graffiti. I'm not sure, but actually, I'm the creator of B-Man. He's not a comic book character. He is a new pulp character, and if you go to www.stormgatepress.com and you look for Pulp Reality #1, you'll see the first B-Man story. If you go to the same site and you look for Pulp Reality #2, you'll find the second B-Man story. Both of those are available on Amazon. And this week, I was teamed with a new artist, a different artist, for Pulp Reality #3 for my third B-Man story. So that's mainly what I'm doing, but I also take time out of my week to come every Thursday night right here for the gold standard of comic book criticism, comic book spectrum. And happy to be here with you tonight.
All right. We're always happy to have you here, too. And I'm Brian K. Morris. I'm an author, publisher. I write comic books. I write novels. And I'm a former mortician's assistant. And I'm glad to be here, too. And thank you all for being patient with my technical difficulties earlier. But one thing I did find out, these new headphones will actually carry everyone's voices downstairs, so I can hear what they're saying. But anyway, we're looking forward to another night of comic book commentary tonight. And I know we've all been reading up on our comic books this week. So, oh yes, I can tell everyone's chomping at the bit to see whose book is going to take flight first, and I don't mean be successful. Anyway, and don't forget, folks, good girls don't, but I will. But Batman won't either. Anyway, so anyway, yeah,
Gross.
I figure people are going to be expecting after last week's riotous show that we have to maintain a certain level of lack of decorum. So I thought I would just get that out of the way and throw myself on that particular grenade so you three didn't have to.
Bless you, sir.
Thank you. I am a true humanitarian and a patriot. I'm willing to do this stupid stuff just like you guys don't ruin your reputation. So
what reputation?
We'll talk later. Anyway, it's one of those things. It's like, you call the doctor and he says, you ask him what's wrong. He says, I think you need to come to the office, sort of thing. So we don't want to discuss it here. I
love those phone calls. They're great.
I do too. I'm
like, the mystery and intrigue.
Yeah. Oh, goody. Something to look forward to. But anyway, who would like to start reviewing a comic book tonight?
Sure.
Yeah. Yes. May the odds
hold him
be
back,
ever
everyone. Hold him
favor.
back. There's no stopping Eric S. Hawkins when he wants to review a book. So anyway, Eric, the floor is yours and all the dirt on it.
Thanks. So I picked up. I picked up Good Luck. I picked up the third issue of The Lighthouse. Really enjoying that. And then I had a couple DC books in my hand. I actually did. One because it had Batman and Superman dressed up as cowboys on the cover.
Oh, yeah.
So I put it back. And then I had another one, Checkmate, and I put it back. And I picked up Vinyl. Yeah. By Image. And I'm not going to be able to read the prices without this. So, they didn't put it on the back. $3.99. So $3.99 from Image by Doug Wagner and Daniel Hilliard, who also worked on Plastic, which I did not know about. And I'm going to have to look this up because it looks really interesting. It is about a serial killer. And his girlfriend gets kidnapped, who's a sex doll. So I'm going to go back and check that one out, too.
How did I miss this one?
Vinyl is about a serial killer. Walter and an FBI agent named Dennis. And it starts out, you got 2 days from now, and I'm not sure if this is a zombie or not. It could be. She kind of looks like it, but she's dragging an axe around, so I'm not sure. But then it zips to the present day, and Dennis, the FBI agent, sitting in like a courtyard, like a coffee courtyard, I would say, waiting on Walter, the serial killer. He's got a little bud in his ear. He's talking to the FBI guys out in the van, or the lady out there, and some other people. And he's come out of retirement to help them catch this guy. But this is a little where it gets a little confusing. I'm not sure if Walter knows Dennis is FBI or if he's just trying to befriend him. But they've been meeting together at the same place for a year. So that part's a little fuzzy. But I am just amazed at the art in this book, and just the little things you see, like
nice.
The cat just walking in the background. All the tables are flat, and they're not copy and pasted. Each table looks a little different. The legs, they're all a little different. So this guy didn't copy and paste them all. He did it digitally, I'm pretty sure, but it looked great. Everything on this panel I love.
Yeah.
I really enjoyed the book because Walter's he's just such a weird dude. Now, I'm afraid there might not be a lot of sound effects in here. There might be a couple, but it's very few. So Walter's talking to the Dennis, the FBI agent. Walter seems to think they're best friends. And that is when Madeline shows up from the sunflower farm, who's the leader of a female cult.
All right.
Who has, and her son was put in prison by Dennis, the FBI agent. So she has brainwashed his estranged daughter and is going to marry him off to her son, who needs to, start a family. Apparently her son is out of prison now, and she shows him a violent video of something he's done to a woman. There is intestines involved and a lot of blood. So he agrees to go with Madeline to the sunflower farm. And this leaves Walter a little perplexed because it's his best friend. So Dennis takes his earbud out, lays on the table, then Walter tells the people in the van, and he knows them all by name, that they've taken Dennis, and you might want to go get his daughter and hide her. And they're all like, how's he even know our names? Then Walter's such a strange little fella. He rides out to the sunflower farm on his bicycle. Excellent. Because Dennis is his best friend. And Dennis hates the guy. He hates him with a passion. It seems like they're trying to catch him in the act of doing a murder, because Dennis gives him an album that was played over and over at a murder like 2 weeks ago. And they think he did it. He goes, oh, I haven't heard that recently. Maybe a couple days ago, but so they're not going to help Walter out here by giving them Dennis, because he just wants Dennis because it's his best friend. So Walter comes back a little later and just starts. There's some sound effects. The sound effects you want to see when there's blood and gore.
Yes.
So little crazy Walter here just goes in and starts killing people. And
nice.
And this is, I love this. Madeline, I did warn you. It's a refreshing change from superheroes and some of the other stuff, and it was just really cool because I love the art style. I love the story. How can you go wrong with serial killers, that are crazy? Crazier than just normal serial killers, I guess. But he also, I don't know if he does this every time he murders someone, but he does like to wear this little teddy bear mask with one of the eyes missing. So this book, it made me want to go back and look for that plastic, since it's about a serial killer too, whose girlfriend gets kidnapped, but she's actually a sex doll, so it just doesn't matter anyway. But he goes on killing people, and it's by the exact same two guys. The artist and writer both did it. And it's another image book, so I'm really enjoying my image books lately compared to the boxes and boxes of early 90s image I have. I would give this I'm not going to give it a 10 because, I mean, 10's like for a perfect book, and it's hard to find that. I'm going to give it a 9, though.
Nice.
And I'll definitely, I think it's only going to be 5 issues. And it seems like he's done a couple series with Image, and they've all been like 5 issues, 5 or 6 issues each. So I will definitely pick up the other ones and see who Walter kills next.
Very cool. That does sound good.
Hey, Eric.
Yeah.
Did you get your copy of Bunny Mask? Have you read that yet?
I have not read it, but I did give it to my daughter to read. She's already returned it. She liked it. She said it was very weird.
It is weird. It is.
Then my brother read it. He said he liked it. It's very weird.
It's very weird. It is.
I've been passing it around. I just haven't
I'm
read
seeing
it yet.
a common theme here.
Yeah,
It's pleasurable, but yet also.
I don't
what
know
am
if there's
I
a
actually
serial killer
reading?
in that one, though. Is there? Clyde?
Yeah.
Oh.
Eric,
Really good tell.
There's hope.
you're reading a lot of serial killer books. I'm already on a show with a serial killer on the Dastardly Dingoes.
Well,
I
you
don't know
know,
that I can do two.
You got to do your research. And, it kind of actually scares me. I was thinking about this when I was reading the book, and I started looking up the creators. They seem to do serial killer books. I'm wondering if there's something a little loose up in the.
I mean,
old
hey, at
noggin
least they're making books instead of actually going out and doing
there.
it.
Or are they?
Oh,
Are they
Or
going
as
and
we
doing the
know.
deeds, then writing the books about
yeah,
it?
they're like, this
Yeah.
is research. Come here.
Research,
You know,
yeah.
yeah, that's not
Or
good.
cry for help.
Definitely.
If they're going, the authorities are going to read those books one day and see this pile of bodies from wherever the creators live, and they'll be going,
Perhaps we should
Well,
have been paying
it's
attention
reopened.
to these things.
Ah.
Yes.
It's probably one of the, I've liked this more than a lot of the books I've read since we started this, 17 weeks ago? 16?
We are on number 18.
18, good God.
Eric, I never signed up for this.
and
I
that
can do
That is
16, but not
very good
18. That's
comic.
too many.
that 2-page spread with them in the courtyard, I sat there and looked at that for a good 10 minutes, looking at all the
Yeah.
little stuff all over the place.
I really appreciate artists that can just draw everyday normal things like that. Like
Yeah.
it's
I
so-
was shocked
so
at the
cool.
freaking cat. Why'd you draw a
Yes.
cat there?
Yes.
I mean, you're
cats walk
outside. It's
by.
not a house cat. He's just a cat wandering
Yeah.
along.
Yeah. And you wonder, did the art writer say, put a cat in the background? Or did the artist say, this needs something? Let's see, I could put I could put like a jet fighter in there. No, I could put like a scarecrow. No,
I didn't
know,
look in
I'll
the
put a
sky. Maybe
cat.
there was that up there.
Maybe so.
Good luck.
It could be. And we want to say hello to the people who are tuning in. Carleen, yes, it's almost time, and away we go. And Carly, this is just one of the mysteries of life. And good evening to Ted Davies. Glad to see you. And check out Drinking with the Davies tomorrow at 6 p.m. on the Rising Tide Broadcast Network.
on top of this umbrella. Look at that. Look at that. Just a little bird sitting on the umbrella.
He's so excited.
Yeah.
I know.
Flowers in a
Amazing.
vase.
Yeah.
Well, while Eric is still entranced with his comic book,
Some
what the-
latte at cold. I mean, he's got menu stuff on the board back here. Crazy.
good God, this
But-
is like
But I
I
will
feel
tell
like we
you
just
that
need like a book that's just that for Eric.
I
It's
am
just
sure the
Yeah,
perspective
yeah.
is off on the little doors that go up on the side. That was the only thing I saw wrong with it. But
and no horse skeletons. And Ryan Burmison asked,
I'm sure there's going to be some skeletons in here later.
I'm sure there are. He goes, what's up, CBS crew? When is that shirt coming? Moving on. Yeah, you tell us.
Someone designed the images.
That's true, and I said that
Yeah.
someone could use that as their merch.
or also maybe someone can make a Kickstarter and that can be a reward.
We'll talk. And
Wow.
I only need about $3,500. Anyway, Brian Hawkins says greetings programs. And that's what it says on the west side of the castle. Yes, and thank you for sharing this. And hello, Carleen, and Glenn Fleming. Sweet dreams, young man. Sweet dreams. Yeah, that is a great intro clip done by our very own Glenn B. Fleming. Please check out his work on Amazon and then the upcoming Indie Volt Revolt. And hello, Carl Witzman saying hello to us. And yeah, we're late. I was having a little technical difficulties. And Brian says, Hawkins says, if someone had ever given me a wrench, I might be able to post the link to Nebulizer, even if I'm stuck on the grid. Well, Yeah, that's true. And gotta love that Hawkins enthusiasm. Yep. You can barely hold this man back. I'm telling you. And hello, beautiful Keisha Akoff. Mwah, good to see you. And we're all looking forward to drinking. Oh yeah, with the Davies too, and mint juleps, yum. And Carly, be careful what you say about serial killers. And definitely
Yes,
want to.
ma'am.
Yes, dear. And definitely want to see what happens in Bunny Mask. And hello, Amy Hale. Mwah, darling. She is on at 8 p.m. tonight, Eastern Time. Please check out her channel. Please subscribe, give it a like, and adore this woman as she well deserves. And check out her interview tonight with the one, the only Eric Asher. And tell Eric I said hello, please. So we are now caught. Oh, we were. And let it go, Eric. Let it go.
Let it go. Let it go.
Yeah,
Don't
were you
hold
hearing that the
back.
minute I said that? Yeah.
Absolutely. Yes, I'm
Oh my
traumatized by that song because I worked at the
I know.
daycare when it came out.
Ooh.
And
Yeah,
I hate
and-
my
and-
life.
And now it's in your head now,
Hey, that's
right?
better than Barney all the time.
Oh, that's true.
Ooh, I haven't thought of Barney.
Yes.
In a long time.
Or
Oh, I wish we could say
Baby
that.
Oh,
You were
do
growing up
do
with
do
Barney.
do, baby shark, do. Please, I'm sorry. Please don't unfriend me.
Yeah. Don't make fun, do. Amy kills you, do. Okay.
She's like, I'm done with all of you.
It's bad enough Morris does it. Now he's got the rest of you doing it. Anyway, moving on, and we will. And yeah, Eric, says Brian Hawkins, be like Elsa.
I don't have that range.
Can you at least wear the blue dress
next?
next week?
There's probably a child size one here in the house somewhere. I can put it on.
Yes, even better. You dress up as that. I'll dress up as Lady Death. We'll have a great
I
time.
get it on my thigh probably.
Ooh. Oh.
And I'm thinking for somebody like me to be like, "Hello, I'm Elsa," you know, drooping off my wrist.
Yeah, I'll just wear it as a sleeve. you
Yeah,
know.
there we go. It'd be like Senor Wences or something. So, oh, and our copyright strike. No, they're not going to claim this one. Trust me, they are not going to come near it. Nobody wants it. But anyway, who would like to go next?
I'll go. Oh, Clyde.
Ooh.
Go ahead.
Clyde.
Go ahead,
Clyde's
Clyde.
excited.
Go ahead.
Clyde's
Go ahead.
fired up, unlike someone, and he's ready to review. Clyde, what have you for us this week, sir?
Oh, I have an unusual, for me, kind of change of pace book. It is also from Image, although it's Image Skybound. It's their imprint. This, I think Kirkman is behind most of those things. It is a book that has not gotten a lot of talk, and I really enjoyed it. I thought it was different. So we are going to be looking at The 6 Sidekicks of Trigger Keaton. Came out earlier this month. Had a very odd cover to me. I first thought that they had slipped something in. I ordered it, but then I kind of, it was an afterthought. I hadn't heard much about it, so I ordered it. And then when I got home, I thought it was an ad that they stuck in like a brochure, just the way it's made. But what they've tried to do is emulate a scandal rag or a celebrity magazine. And I'm not sure that the cover really does that. It doesn't look like the ones I used to read anyway, but I do applaud their efforts. And it's a theme that went through the whole thing. For example, Trigger Keaton is supposed to be a celebrity. So on the back, we have a 1980s-ish Trigger Keaton autographed picture that you can hang on your wall, you know, and the whole book is set up like that, based on this celebrity person. It is, look at some of the artwork very quickly. I think the artwork fits this. It would not fit everything, but it's a humorous whodunit. So I think this works well. And you have a guy that is a celebrity for the last 20 years. He's a master of martial arts. And he does not make friends very easily. He basically takes advantage of just about everybody he works for. And then he dies. And we have to try to figure out who may have been his assailant, if it is a murder, or if it was a suicide, like everybody thinks initially it was. Now, they have some very nice introductions of people that he worked with, like this. So we get our cast of characters established quickly. Very is very good with the humorous facial expressions and little tidbits of information that build up so that you know each of these people well. It was a very nice intro building exercise. But there's also a great amount of lettering that went into this, and it is, Eric, you're going to like this, I think. Not only do we have sound effects, we have sound effects of battle that you don't normally see, which actually describes the hit. This is a fist grab.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. We have,
Genius.
and we have some that, but we also have thuds and pows, and then where's the other one at here? We have copious cracking going on.
Cool.
I do like it's a bit, even the regular fonts there are a little bit stylistic, but I think it works for this very well. They don't fill up the balloons as much as some letterists would think ideal, but it works for this title. There is not a lot of dialogue, and that works for that. If they had big tracks of dialogue, it probably would not work for that. But I do appreciate the idea of them actually describing the hit, the strike, with the sound effect. That's just brilliant. So, okay, let's get into this. Again, I haven't done a lot of humor books except for humor for kids. Adults. The 6 Sidekicks of Trigger Keaton, #1 of 6. Image Skybound Entertainment's $3.99 cover price. It's written by Kyle Starks, and it is drawn by Chris Schweizer. The colors, at least assisted by Liz Trice-Schweizer. We do not know who did the lettering, which is a negative point in my review, but we'll get to that. Maturity level is M for mature. Drop Chuck Norris and Charlie Sheen into a blender. Add a can of Old Baloo beer, a pack of unfiltered cigarettes, 1 cup Tiger Blood, and top off with illegal drugs. A lot of illegal drugs. Mix on high and then fortify with a shot of Everclear. Now you've got a Trigger Keaton cocktail. He's made enemies and burned bridges, and some with enemies still trying to get off them, for more than 2 decades. Trigger is the action hero icon people could not get enough of, who became the celebrity meltdown that people, well, they still couldn't get enough of. Now he's dead, but appears suicide. It must be. Age and hard living catches up to everybody, right? Besides, who would want to kill Trigger Keaton? Well, only everyone who's ever worked with him. And the entire stunt profession. And maybe the 6 sidekicks that he's burned through in the same number of TV series and pilots. Scripter Kyle Starks has put together an Agatha Christie-worthy whodunit that packs a lot of humor into the skullduggery. The suspect list, named and inferred, could only be accommodated by adding an extra passenger car to the Orient Express. Just how despicable is Trigger Keaton? Starks hilariously offers many anecdotes and insights from those who knew and hated him best. But Trigger might qualify for the Captain Stern treatment now that he's shuffled off this mortal coil. A huge funeral service, giving his deploring public a chance to spit on the corpse, with the hopes of getting him buried in secret so his grave doesn't get violated. Image Skybound Entertainment announced the 6-issue series as Knives Out meets Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, and Starks realizes that vision in all its kooky bizarreness. One of his best techniques is arranging the entire issue as a scandal sheet celeb mag, sampling across Keaton's career. That includes an ad for the martial art TV series circa 1986 that made him famous, a pitch for the Trigger Keaton Circle of Friends fan club, excerpts from a 2003 interview that went horribly off the rails, and an autographed poster for the back cover. It's all testament that Starks come to skewer the celebrity worship of our childhood, not to bury it, or Trigger for that matter. He also provides great details regarding the action icon's career and co-stars with TV guide listings and funny patter. Keaton's World Karate Championship title and his man's man on-screen mojo yanked bona fide pictures up from the poverty row of 1980s productions companies to a TV mega power. Seeing which side of their bread the butter was roundhouse kicked on, Bonafide granted Keaton a rock-solid 25-year contract and clout enough to be a complete egocentric ass. Over the years, and as Keaton, his colorful celeb exploits began drawing increasing fire, Bonafide placed him in 6 widely divergent series, fulfilling their contract and hoping for another runaway hit. This gives Starks the opportunity of showing Keaton in police procedurals, science fiction, drama, and action roles. Expect to see send-ups of everything from Walker, Texas Ranger to Star Trek to Knight Rider as these issues continue. This also allows for an interesting cast of sidekicks. Once a former NFL star trying his hand at acting. Another a promising kid actor that Trigger fired and ruined his career. The latest just completed a cop show pilot playing the detective partnered with Keaton's character. Mike Nguyen also spent time with real LAPD detectives preparing for the role, and he thinks he can not only prove that Keaton was murdered, he can finger Trigger's killer. Now, he may or may not be right, but at least he's in a target-rich environment. The art of Chris Schreiser also layers on the funny. It never gets mired in any of the grisly details, but it does take every opportunity to display the anger and the outrage and the hurt inspired by the deceased. It contrasts well with Schweiser's staging of the television show scenes, wherein Keaton upholds all the appropriate virtues, his co-stars basking in his heroism, quickly played against their actual relationships as soon as the director yells cut. Liz Trice Schweizer is listed as the coloring assistant, which makes me think that maybe Chris did all the colors and she helped out. It's uncertain exactly what they were hoping for in a color collaboration. It's mostly neutral tones, which I think is an odd choice for a series about a star of big, bold, bright TV fare of the 80s. Perhaps making the television production more vibrant and then the personal off-camera scenes neutral would have worked better. As it is, the issue's coloration is very visually dull. The lettering for number 1 is an Eric Hawkins special treat. It's creatively lettered, as you saw, exciting and artful sound effects throughout. Even the standardized dialogue font has variety and appeal. It's a pure lettering joy, which makes the fact that no letterer is credited a total buzzkill. If Schweizer did his own lettering, kudos, but raspberries for not saying that it was him. In the last year, there's been a trend developing where some companies mention only artists and writers in previews and announcements. When colors and letters are relegated to like a second-class creative status, it makes me flare my nostrils. And from Trigger Keaton, that would mean a retaliatory flurry of blows using all 7 of his mastered martial arts. So the six sidekicks of Trigger Keaton is a funny, worthwhile read done with loving attention. It scandalizes while idolizing beloved TV action stars we grew up with, acknowledging equally the fun they provided and their meltdown moments which transfixed us. See Hoffenberger for further details. It even scores body blow points with its insights. One character saying Trigger was selfish garbage. But we'd all probably act like him if we were so tough no one could hurt us. And it shows emotions of being in a toxic relationship one-on-one with him or celebrity to fans. Mainly, though, it's filled with laughs of the deep and satisfying belly-based variety. For whatever reason, this title has not been getting much press. It's a shame because there aren't very many new books like this coming out right now. Funny books that are funny in an adult way. A friend on Twitter this week replied to a word-of-mouth post about the book saying, "Why am I just now hearing about this book? Yeah, it was released on June 9th. So, Image? Skybound? Bueller? If you've read buckets of horror this summer, or if you're OD'd on the superhero fair right now, this may be a welcome detour. It's imperfect, just like Trigger Keaton, but it's still exciting, and I'll be tuning in for number 2. My score for the 6 sidekicks of Trigger Keaton, number 1, is 7 out of 10.
Ooh, very cool. Very, very cool.
Nice.
It does sound good. I'm glad to see companies putting out stuff that's not necessarily, like you said, just superhero stuff.
Yes.
Yeah.
Clyde, stop
Yeah.
making me poor. That's my only problem with your reviews. Everything you review, I feel like I have to go out the next day and buy. My wife is very, very angry with you right now. I just want
My
you to
evil work is done. I'm sorry, Rob. I'm sorry.
That's okay.
sorry,
She's going out of town.
And when she comes back, it'll be half an hour of Brian. What's this on the bill here?
Brian, what have you done? I'm just surrounded by like pizzas and comics. Nothing.
That sounds right to me.
Yeah, that's about accurate. So,
Yeah. So anyway, Amy Hale, before she left to do her show, says, "Okay, that's quite enough out of you." I tried to stop them, hon. I really did. Anyway,
as you can see, yes.
and yes, we know Brian Hawkins. And anyway, Brian says, Clyde's tired of y'all making him wait till after all your shenanigans. There's a lot to be said for that. And it's called saving the best for last. Yes, indeed. Yes. We are who you have to suffer through in order to get to the good one.
Exactly.
And Carl Witzman says, wow, a bit of Julius Caesar in there. Nice. I smell William Shatner from somewhere.
I was thinking Burt Reynolds.
William did what in his pants?
Yeah. And Cindy kept sliding into the room and finding a seat. CKOEPB.com. And her new newsletter should be out tomorrow, so please check it out. And everyone has Cyberman headphones. Yes, we do.
Nothing's changed about us, though. We're all the same.
That's true.
Yes, we're fine. Nothing wrong
Everything
here.
is good.
We're good.
Hey, Clyde, I
Comics
also
are
noticed
great.
they don't even list it on the Image website.
See, I don't know whether maybe Kirkman is
not at all.
tasked with promoting it, and he just isn't big into promoting it.
Sucks.
I don't know. Yeah.
Maybe you don't have to buy it
You
after
missed
all,
the
Brian.
variant cover of the big guy with the big mutton chops in the shower with purple soap suds covering up his naughty bits.
No, I didn't.
Now, who
miss that
doesn't
bit.
want that? I
I
feel
did like the
personally
one-
attacked by that statement.
I did like the one though. It's got him on it's got his feet. It shows all the sidekicks, and it's got his feet where he's being pulled out on the basically from the drawer in the coroner's office. That was a pretty good cover. But this one I really liked. It just I didn't get what it was at first. Once I was on board with it, I was
Hold the cover up again really quick.
Yeah, let me get
see.
him on full screen for this one.
Okay.
You know what it really reminds me of? Cowboy
What's that?
Bebop.
That's true.
Oh,
Just just the shapes and the placement. It kind of has that feeling.
Yeah, true. I think my favorite sidekick is this guy because he was just the voice of the car. He's Kit's voice, basically. He wasn't on screen with him. Yeah,
Mr. Feeney.
Yeah, exactly.
Nice. Very cool.
So-
Well, thank you very much, Clyde. That was awesome, as always, sir.
Thank you.
Okay, now, which of the Bryans is going next?
Oh, I'll go. Oh,
Okay, okay, here we go. Okay, Brian, what's new from the comic shop?
That's a great impression of me, Eric. Yes, that's exactly how I feel inside at all times.
Yeah, not the real thing, but an uncanny simulation. So here he is, the real thing himself, Mr. Brian Rodman. What you got for us, Brian?
Hello, I'm the real thing. This week, I gotta say, I read probably one of my favorite books I've ever dove into. I've already got this issue came out in March, and it's still going on. I picked up the rest of them because it's that good. It's called the Bequest, and just to kind of just first impression, look at that artwork. I mean, if that doesn't scream 90s Todd McFarlane, I don't know what does. And in a good way, too, man. It's just so.
At least it's not Liefeld.
Oh, yeah. No, there are life-size chests in this. There is no bodybuilder, crazy steroid Captain America's in this.
And ankles abounding.
Right. There are actually feet in this. But my goodness, like it is like off the bat, the cover just caught my eye. The artwork is great. It's written by Tim Seeley. The artist is Freddie E. Williams II.
Freddie?
Colorist,
Oh,
I love
Freddie.
Freddie's art. Yeah.
Oh, Freddie's great. Yeah. And colorist is Jeremy Caldwell. The letterer is Marshall Dillon. Or Dylan, I apologize. And the cover artist is also Freddie.
That's that guy's name, Marshall Dillon?
Marshall Dillon, yeah. He used to do a lot of
Marshall
stuff
Dillon.
for digital webbing.
Well,
Yeah,
we know what
and I
his
gotta-
parents watched.
Yeah.
Yeah, and,
Yeah.
and I'm betting the rent money. It's a pseudonym. So-
And I gotta say, I mean, just really quick, the lettering is beautiful in this.
Yeah.
It's
Oh, cool.
very
Yeah,
well done.
Yeah.
Yeah,
well, Doc
So,
and Miss Kitty helped him out on that.
absolutely. So the official aftershock synopsis is welcome to the high fantasy world of Tangia, a land where wizards and warriors battle dragons in dark, dank dungeons, where thieves pillage ancient ruins and priests answer the audible words of their great gods. Welcome to Chicago, Illinois, where the magical items from Tangia are being traded on the black market and are messing everything up. Now, a group of Tangia adventurers must go undercover in our modern world to stop artifacts and monsters from falling into the wrong hands. But how will they fare in a world without wizards and warriors, a world without heroes? So the first issue does a fantastic job in introducing all of the characters and the dynamic of the different worlds. The first or the two different realms, the very first page, we get introduced to this seemingly nice gentleman who's just walking down the street, and we find out from these hooligans that pull up next to him that it's, you know, after dark and the wrong side of town, and you think they might be messing with him, but they just drive off. And he continues to walk, whistling down the road. We follow the thugs, and they end up parked at an old abandoned building where their rivals are squatting, and they want to take their territory. And so they're pulling out guns and everything. And then this guy ends up pulling out a magic wand and using it to try to blow the building up, and misses, and that gets the attention of the rival gang, and they run out, and by the time they get up the hill, the seemingly nice gentleman has all but destroyed the gang with the wand. And I would say that's the weakest part of the story, because there's a couple panels here where you don't really know what's happening. It's just a lot of blue light, and you can kind of see the corpses of the gang with the wand right here, but you can't really make out what's going on here. I kind of had to go back and forth a couple times just to see what was happening. But after that, and that's just the first 4 pages, after that, everything is smooth. We then jump into Tangia, and this is the fantasy realm, and there are these adventurers, and who we get to know just through their dialogue, which is so great. I love when people do that. Like when you don't really have the block. This is so and so, and this is so and so. Even though the writer does do that at the end, just to kind of wrap everything up and help you remember who these people are. But you get to know their personalities as they're on this adventure, treasure hunting, looking to kill a dragon, and they're just getting to know each other. And as they are traversing through a cave, they start noticing things from our world, such as a jackhammer just randomly shows up, and it's and so they're, of course they're trying to figure out like what this magical thing is that is alive, because it just starts going off, and then they burrow into a tunnel. Look at this dragon. Just gaze at this artwork.
Yeah.
Real quick. That is amazing. But as you can tell, in his cavern, there's wires.
Yeah.
And tech that's just laying around. And they are noticing it too. And it's really, they call it that the cavern has veins. And I think that's just really cool, because they've never seen this before. So it's very much like, what would someone from like Dungeons and Dragons, if they saw our tech, what would they describe it as? And they do a really fun job with that. And during the skirmish with the dragons, one of the warriors meets his fate, and the main character, of the leader of the group, vows vengeance against the dragon. However, a portal opens from our world, and we see a Gatling gun that appears out of nowhere
Hmm.
and does the job for the leader of the crew and completely annihilates the dragon. And
Cone of lead
yes,
fell.
yes. And so the whole premise, you find out through the story that this team that's going on this adventure is they're breaking the law, going through and you know, treasure seeking and things like that. And so as the cavern as the Gatling gun goes off, the portal kind of starts to close and the cavern starts to crumble and fall around them. And one of the members uses his magic to shield them, and he calls upon the authority of their realm to help them, to get them out of this. And it just so happens that of course leads them to being on trial immediately, because they've been breaking the law of the realm by treasure seeking. And in this, we introduce the authorities of the realm, which again, good grief, look at that artwork, just so beautiful. And we find out that two of these god authorities are the parents of the leader of this team, and they are sentenced to go to the Earth realm and essentially track down this gang of people who are going from Tangia to Earth, or from Earth to Tangia, back and forth, stealing items of magic to trade for weapons that are, you know, guns and bombs and things like that, preparing for war. And so they are sentenced to go and help the guardian of Earth realm, who happens to be the nice gentleman walking down the street from the beginning. And yeah, and so we get to know each of the characters a little bit more as he tells them why they're there, who he is, and who they are actually searching for, which I love this 2-page spread. This is the main villain of the story, and they give a very, very good just recap of where he started, what his goal is now, and, you know, moving forward, essentially how to, you know, how difficult it is to defeat this guy. And, you know, we see the nice gentleman walking around with a walker. You know, get ready. This is kind of a Yoda from Star Wars Episode 2 moment. He's walking around telling them that, you know, he's old and can't really do this by himself anymore. So it just so happens that it's a great thing that they broke the law and were sentenced to help him, because things are getting really bad. And, you know, more and more magical items are beginning to appear on Earth that's disturbing the balance. And they're really worried about what, you know, this group of magical terrorists are going to be doing with all of these guns to take over Tangia, essentially. And after, you know, the leader of this team asks the nice old gentleman, okay, who are you really? Because, you know, up to this point, he has not given his identity, and he reveals himself to be a dragon.
Ooh. Spoilers.
Exactly. So, and again, look at that line art. Look at the colors. So well done. And then we pick up finally with the antagonist of the story, as he has now set his sights on the one group of people who he believes he can get the most guns from and get the most allegiance from. And it is a white supremacist group. And he gives them dragon powers at the end of the issue and recruits them into his fray. So that is how this issue ends. It starts off the series in an amazing, wonderful way. The story is great. I love the characters by the end of issue 1. I know what the story is going to be. I know where it started. It was clear. Like I said, the only time where I kind of got a little fuzzy was the first 4 pages, because I feel like the artwork was a little rushed. You know, like I said, you don't really know what's happening in these panels sometimes, but everything else was great. Artwork's beautiful. Lettering's fantastic. trying to find. I don't know. I actually didn't. I don't. Oh, there we go. Here's some fun sound effects for you, Eric.
Cool.
The rumble. There's that. The
About time.
cavern's collapsing. There you go, man. So yeah, I would say my score. If you like Dungeons and Dragons, if you like fantasy, if you like, it reminds me of the Dark Tower meets the Dresden Files, which is a weird combination, but that's really the vibe I get from this, and it's a lot of fun. I give this a solid 8.5 out of 10. I can't wait to read the next issues, and I will probably be doing issue 2 next week because I'm gonna definitely keep up with this series. So yeah, that's the bequest.
Yeah, Freddie's been doing digital art for a long time.
Yeah. Well,
that's what got me into doing art digitally.
He did TMNT and Batman.
Yeah.
Right.
And Masters of the Universe.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, and he also wrote a book on the
which I have,
DC
yes.
process. I've got it too.
Yeah.
Don't draw.
I think. Correct me if I'm wrong. Didn't he do Transformers as well,
I don't know if he did.
or did he not? Okay.
He might have, but his YouTube channel is great. Go out there and watch it. A lot of tutorials on how to do digital inking, digital penciling, hybrid art where you do some digitally, then do some traditionally. He's got a website out there where you could download add-ons for Photoshop to do perspective and stuff and buildings. And stuff. Really
cool. Nice.
Very, very cool indeed. Thank you very much, Brian.
I wonder if anybody on the creative team, if this is channeling some of their RPG experiences. If when you're talking about veins in the cavern, I'm like, this sounds like somebody remembered something from a game and actually included a story.
What's really cool is the captions. I meant to say this. I'm glad you brought this up, Clyde. The captions when it introduces which realm you're in, Earth or Tangia. The first, when we meet, the very first page, you see the caption says, "The realm called Earth, Chicago, back of the yards neighborhood, danger level high." So there's an RPG tabletop language throughout this too.
And someone that knows Chicago very well.
Yes, indeed.
Or has read a newspaper in the last 100 years. Oh, that's super. Now, Cindy Cap says, now see the way that lettering is done. That looks like the Bequest.
It does a little bit, but I kind of dig what they're doing here. I think it is because it's a play on words for sure when it comes to this, because it's a quest, and at the very end he bequests this mission to them. So it's it's a really cool way that they did the font.
Yeah. Now, is it a limited series or is it an ongoing series?
I don't know. It doesn't really say. It just says each issue. So far, there's been, I think, 3 issues out. The 4th one's coming out next month, and nice. I think it's either extended series or ongoing.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Cindy Cap says, Marshall Dillon, get out of Dodge. And Brian Hawkins says, saw Freddie Williams tweet about the new issue coming out yesterday, and I was like, why am I just hearing about this book? It looks cool.
Awesome.
Who was it printed by again?
Aftershock.
Aftershock? Okay.
Yeah, they do good work. They do good work. And here is our stunt double from the desk of Small Press Publishers every Saturday night at 10 p.m. This Saturday, check out, he's going to be talking to Karen Nicole. The Bridge of the Starship Comic Prize.
Yes, that's great.
And sorry I'm late. Is Brian Rodman still alive? He isn't a red shirt. Well, we can't see what's under his hoodie, so...
Wait. Yeah, I'm still alive. We're good. Okay.
Sorry, bro. Sorry, Joe. Sorry, but keep the flame going. Anyway, and continue from him, he mocks us with his laughter. And my breath is not hot and stank. It's normal because I'm a dragon. And he mocks us some more. And I should be offended, but not. If we have not offended anyone, just wait. Your turn is coming. And Carly.
Oh, we can do that pretty quick. Hold on.
Oh yeah, there we go.
Yeah. If you didn't watch last week's episode and weren't offended, by God, nothing's gonna bring you down to this quartet. I'm telling you that right now. So I guess I'm next.
That is it.
Okay. Well, here we go. Well, I get a lot of grief about my love of DC Comics.
Not again.
I know, right? But I read things other than DC Comics, but it's been pointed out also I haven't reviewed a DC comic in a few weeks. So we're going to make up for it tonight. I'll teach you guys a bitch about it. But anyway, no, I'm actually going to talk about a couple of books here. Now, why should Eric have all the fun of being like a little bit negative about a comic book? And
well, come on, we can't all like the books. It's impossible.
True.
That's true. And here's the one that makes it even more impossible. It's the one that Eric passed up called Checkmate. As you know, there was a
pretty cover though.
It was a very nice cover by Alex Maleev. The artwork is very nice. But then the script writer, Brian Michael Bendis, I'm kind of putting this at his feet. This is part of the leisurely storytelling that a lot of writers do. Clyde and I were talking about this earlier today. For one thing, you're introduced to a lot of characters like the Manhunter and the Question, but you don't know who they are. Every comic is someone's first comic, but these people aren't introduced. They do one page recap of what's going on, but we never found out about Mark Shaw, who older fans know was killed back in the 70s. And this gave way to the Archie Goodwin, Walt Simonson Manhunter. But now all of a sudden he's shown up. We don't know anything about him. And there is a bit of dialogue from the Question, Renee Montoya, and I have no idea who she's replying to. But look at all that wordage. Look at all those balloons there. And I will say that Brian Michael Bendis is probably the best dialogue guy in the business. But there's lots of it. And the thing is, when you get to the end of the issue, what's happened? There's also a couple of 2-page spreads. Did we really? Well, I'm sorry. That's my bad. Did we really need a pair of 2-page spreads? And what's happening here? We have Talia and Robin being captured by Mark Shaw. But did we need 2 pages to give that impression? And a character comes back. Her name is Allie. She was a intern at the Daily Planet, but somehow she's changed from early 20s to middle-aged and frumpy. I don't understand how.
Don't you hate when that happens?
I know. I thought it just happened to me. I became a frumpy middle-aged woman after my 20s, so I don't know what was going on. One thing they do write in here is that the point is made that Batman is the greatest detective in the DC universe, but there are different types of detectives. And that's one thing this book does well. Move the story along is not one of them. And so for having a waste of at least 2 pages in here, and I will be picking up the next issue, whether I get all 6 is up in the air. And speaking of being up in the air, here's how I felt about Checkmate. Whee! Okay. Now for something infinitely more satisfying, Infinite Frontier. Now, if you've been following the Infinite books that have just recently come out from DC, that have been an effort to try to bridge what has happened during the metal crossovers and more classic DC fare. This is really good. Let's see. It starts out with a little mystery. There's a couple in the middle of the Midwest. A rocket lands. And but it's not who you think. It's the Batman. In fact, it is the Thomas Wayne Batman. And this is by Joshua Williamson. Zermanico is the illustrator. Romula Ferrado Jr. is the colors. And Tom Napolitano does a really good lettering job. And then we have the return of the bad guy from 0 Hour. All right.
Oh, wow.
And he's facing the newly revived Justice Society of America. Now, this is a double-page spread.
Mm-hmm.
Stuff's happening. Stuff is happening. And then there's a row of panels at the bottom where you're kind of introduced to the rest of the team. And then you get some good interplay, like the JSA building goes up in green flame. We don't know why. Alan Scott's daughter is talking so much for the impact of Checkmate on the DC universe, because Chairman Bones has already revived the DEO again. So much for that permanency. But we have this book is made worthwhile by the introduction of one character. You got it. You love him. You can't get enough of him. Captain Carrot is back.
Where's the zoo crew? Where's the zoo crew?
Yeah, exactly. We need the rest of the zoo crew. But then we have a glimpse of Justice Incarnate with the Superman that's going to be in the movie, along with some other characters like Aquawoman of Earth 11, Mary Marvel from Earth S, and Machine Head from Earth 8. And then we bring in the Flash, because what's a good Crisis without the Flash? Where he's going through the various planets in the DC multiverse. And you know it's the multiverse because you get a glimpse of Grant Morrison's map in the opening.
Nice.
Yeah. And then something happens where the Flash meets somebody. But and this might give you a clue. I'm not going to spoil it for you, but look at this sequence here. All the turmoil the Flash is going through, all the different emotions, which I've just given you a huge clue as to who he's met. All right, especially if you read the original Crisis. He lands on a planet. You know how the Flash can tell vibrations? He lands on a planet where there are no vibrations. And now he's captured. And then
the ladies won't be happy about that.
I know, and Selena Kyle has a call into the guy. But anyway, but anyway, and we are also reintroduced to someone who just kind of walked into the scene at the end of Metal, Mr. Roy Harper, who gets a little twist at the end that I'm sitting there going, I'm interested. I'm interested in what happens next. This is a 6-issue miniseries, Infinite Frontier. I'm really digging it. I'm really excited to see where it goes next. And the idea that they're bringing in all these characters, even if it's just for a walk-on, gets me excited. It makes me happy. And I have some other books that I probably will be reviewing in the next couple weeks, such as Superman, continuing the story that they started a couple months ago, and Action Comics. Both are very good, except for the backups, which stink out loud. I would rather have, instead of $4.99, I'd rather have paid $3.99 and yanked those last pages out of the book. They add nothing to the package. And then we've got, and one thing I will be reviewing, and I did enjoy it, was Supergirl, Woman of Tomorrow by Tom King. And I want to make sure I get the name right. I shouldn't have done it. Bilquis Evely. And Matthias Lopez is the colorist, Clayton Cowell's letter, and it's a really good story. We will be probably reviewing this next week. But Tom King, his Batman was was great craft and writing, but I can't say I really liked the story. And issue 2 was just completely like, what? He's standing on the top of a jumbo jet, and it's taken him 20 pages to get across Gotham. What the H? So anyway, I can understand a guy who can come from another planet and our sunlight gives him superpowers. I can understand a lot of things, but that's one of the things that mystifies me. But anyway, I give Checkmate back to my comic dealer, and hope I kept the receipt. But as for Infinite Frontier, I'm giving this a 9.5. Only because I got to wait another month to find, or 3 weeks or so, to find out what the next chapter is all about. So 9.5 for that one for me, and that's my review of this week.
So is that basically Crisis Again, Part 12?
Yeah, pretty much. But one thing I am gratified for is at the start of the New 52, DC was adamant that none of the crises had happened. And it's like, well, then how do you explain? But what about then? And that just didn't work out.
Yeah.
So I was grateful to see that over the last year or two that the crisis, at least some of the crises, have been acknowledged. Mm-hmm. And what we see now is looks like it's kind of easing its way back into something that we the DC universe that we've known for about the last 30 years.
Brian, are you insinuating that DC might have a continuity problem?
No, Brian, I am not.
No, he keeps buying the
insinuating-
same books because the same story over and over.
Yeah. No, I'm not insinuating.
And you
that.
bought
I'm
the
not
wrong
saying
Action
it.
Comics.
I will have to say, honestly, Rebirth was I think one of the best things DC's done. I
agree.
absolutely had a blast with Rebirth, and hey, the first one shot made me cry. So
Yeah, that got me too. I have enjoyed a lot of the books that have come out in the last 5 years or so.
Yeah.
But then I've seen some, read some real smellers month after month.
Everything from in the New 52 except for Batman was kind of a stinker for me. I hated New 52 Superman. I just wanted to punch him in his neck.
Yeah, it's like all the
Because of the high
yeah. Ow!
Yeah, I know,
So,
right? And then watch my hand turn into Jello.
Now, Action Comics had I don't know if your shop had the variant cover that was like painted with Clark pulling the shirt open, but it looked like it almost looked like it might have been Alex Ross. I don't know if it was or not.
I don't know because he's doing.
It was
some work
black and
Marvel
white
with it.
too, so it kind of looked the George Reeves is who it kind of looked like.
That's
Ooh,
cool.
nice. I didn't see that, but no, it's just a lot to like about the post 52 universe. Like I said, I've been enjoying Superman. Even the Bendis issues were okay till till it ended, and I realized, well, it's taken him 3 years to tell 3 stories.
That's the main reason I put Checkmate back on. When I saw Bendis, I was like, oh.
Yeah.
His deal with the devil has run out.
Yeah,
That's right.
yeah. I'll wait till the trades come out in 5 years.
Yeah, that's what I'm going to do from this point on with a lot of Mr. Bendis's work, which is a shame because he's got a good track record. I liked his Daredevil back in the day. I liked the early Ultimate Spider-Man.
I would say Bendis's Daredevil rivals Frank Miller's, in my opinion.
Yeah,
It's very, very good.
Yeah, I would agree. And let's see. So anyway,
it is. I love it.
It is.
Yeah.
Seriously, you're right.
And the Event Leviathan, that is the prequel to Checkmate, I liked it a lot because it dealt with all of the different detectives, and Batman is just one of them.
Yeah.
He is not the central figure. I really like that take on that series. So I'm terribly disappointed to hear that Checkmate does not carry on in a better way. I was hoping for some more answers, not a whole bunch of, dialogue balloons that could lift a house and up. I do not need that to follow up to an excellent event.
That was an excellent.
That is, yeah. Well, yeah, and that was my thing with Project Leviathan is that it didn't really come to a resolution. It's like, hi, I'm Mark Shaw out of nowhere. Hey, be sure to buy our next mini-series, boys and girls. It's coming your way soon. So,
and he did.
You think I'd have learned?
It worked.
It worked. Yeah, you sold at least one copy here because I'm a dork. But,
almost 2.
Almost 2. Yeah, almost doesn't count. But I'm the one with the.
There it is. There it is.
Okay, 2.5. We're distributed.
I'm not going to the comic book shop until I watch our show anymore. That's it. I'm not.
Well, just because I didn't care for it, I'm no barometer.
Yeah.
Also, I would pay the cover price on the Infinity book because I want to see Extant and the JSA go another round. That's that. Oh my gosh, I've got it. I've got it in my pile, so I can read it later.
Oh yeah, that's yeah.
Did not expect to see that. That's cool.
That made it a delight to open that book up, and then to see there's much more than what I described in there. There's a lot of little vignettes that I'm like, I want to see how this is resolved. And Joshua Williamson has been doing such a great job on Flash in recent years. That I'm genuinely excited to see where this story goes. And leaving Metal, I am up to here with Metal. I am sick to tears of Metal.
I feel like it's so funny. Like I thought when Metal first started, I was like, "Oh, cool! Scott Snyder and Greg Capullo are back together. This will be a fun short miniseries." 5 years later, it's still happening, and I'm like. God.
I even have a few issues. And I was like, what the hell? I give up.
Like, good grief, guys. Like, this would have been a great, 12-issue arc. and that's it. Button it up and call it done. And nope, 5 years.
Yeah, and it makes the original Spider-Man Clone Saga look like a haiku.
Good.
Oh yeah, then I also love the Tales of the Dark Universe because I'm currently reading the trade on that.
Yeah,
some of them are fun, but
Yeah.
it's almost like, and they include metal in that. I just started that, but the theme of the Dark Universe ones is if you didn't like, what you read when you bought it the first time, just count your blessings because look how we really could have screwed it up.
I gotta say, I really dig Batman Who Laughs. You know what it reminds me of? The Mouth of Sauron from Lord of the Rings.
Ooh, yeah.
Looks like
That's
Judge
the same
Death.
look.
Looks like Judge
too.
Death.
Yeah.
I can definitely see that as and and if it were, I think my problem with the Batman Who Laughs, I love the concept.
Yeah.
The idea of a Batman who could not fight off the Joker toxin and is the guy who can basically take out the DC universe.
Yeah.
I like that concept, but it's the same reason why I'm sick of Lex Luthor. I'm a Superman guy. I'm sick of Lex Luthor. I'm sick of the Joker. I'm sick of Cheetah. Because every time you have a fight with your Trinity or any of the major heroes, those are the default villains.
Yeah.
And then you go away for a couple issues, then the default villains are back. Darkseid's on that list. Dr. Doom's on that list. I am up to my top of my fez in that with that stuff. So you've got such a rich pantheon of villainry.
Yeah.
Why aren't you using some of the others?
Right.
So
like
just have the balls to kill them off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good grief, right? Of course, now if they
me.
kill him off, nobody will believe it anyway, so it doesn't matter.
That's a problem, yeah.
True.
Well, as true. It's kind of like the Joker for a while. It's like Batman push him off a building, but Batman dumps him in the river. Batman jams him into a toilet, and he's back 2 issues later. And after a while, Batman just stopped asking him, "Well, how'd you get out of that?" Yeah, it's like he's back. What the hell?
How long was Green Goblin gone for? Was that it was a good decade, wasn't it?
That was a long time.
Yeah, that was a good.
That was a long time.
Yeah.
Yeah, because Hobgoblin came in.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
During that time. Yeah.
That's true. And that was pretty fresh. That was pretty fresh for the time. And Brian Hawkins says, time for the DC shilling to begin. Maybe not so much, Brian. And here we go. For That's What Small Press Publisher. No, don't tell it's bad. I was looking forward to Checkmate and WW Black and Gold. I have not read the Wonder Woman comic. I have every faith in it. I have, I did, as I was telling you guys earlier, the 4th issue of Superman Red and Blue. Love the first issue. 2 and 3 were not as strong. 4th issue comes back fighting. Seriously good. And Eric Hawkins, who we hope your art career takes off, sir. Someone has to buy the DC books. No one else is. Well, maybe Disney in a few months.
Please.
Hey, I like that guy's comment.
Disney,
That's good.
please
Yeah, that was
buy
pretty on target there.
Please buy DC. Please.
Oh.
I am not a fan of monopolies, but please do something. Oh gosh.
At least you'll get some good movies out of it.
Yes.
Yes. So
Although
finally have
I
some
love
good
the Zack
movies.
Snyder movies, so there's that.
Oh, there you go. And Cindy Kevin goes, Frumpy, isn't that one of the 7 dwarves? And John Celestri, good to see you, sir. Bloodwing Angel, check it out. It's great comics. And today's mainstream comics are basically talking heads and pinups. Yeah, seriously. And I got to say, that was one thing I didn't care for. There were 2 double-page spreads that were not needed.
Yeah.
You could have gotten the same information out of one. And Grumpy, close enough. That's
being an artist.
Yes, and
it was double-page spread because there seemed to be some detail in it. You didn't see a lot of action, but there was you made that small, you wouldn't be able to see anything in that. There wasn't room for a small panel in that.
Yeah, but look at the double page spreads that Brian was showing in his comic earlier. That was some really interesting visual stuff.
I would even say the one that you shared, Eric, that was able to expand a little bit more. Like, I mean, I think that's kind of the point you were making is, that shows the details in there, which you wouldn't be able to. But there comes a point where it's just a 2-page spread because, we need to add another page in here.
Yeah. Well, I've never done a splash page because of that. Never.
You're a maverick, sir. You're a rebel, I tell you. Well, you know, and that's the sort of thing that a double page spread to me, that's what you save for like some sort of huge moment. Like in the old Amazing Spider-Man where Spider-Man's lifting the building off of himself.
Right.
That's worth a full page.
This right here.
Yeah.
There's a lot of stuff going in that one.
But then you can also, but it's also used. Well, here, I'll show it again. Well, so that is a great use of like the big action sequence. But then you can also use a 2-page spread. Well, if I can find it. For like just storytelling, right? So this one, when we really go dive deep into the antagonist, you know, it's a 2-page spread that really is utilized for storytelling.
Yeah, definitely. That one is perfect.
Yeah. Well,
but that's Freddie Williams too. So
he knows the stuff.
Absolutely.
Well, I'm also thinking of the old, remember the old Treasury editions that DC put out with Paul Dini and Alex Ross, you know, Superman, Wonder Woman, and they had that 2-page spread with the origin of the characters in each one. You know, that was a good use of a double page spread, but too many people now, you know, like you guys said, were, you know, just basically, well, I don't feel like drawing like a whole lot of panels on another page.
Yeah.
And also, you know, they're probably thinking, well, I can get more on the secondary market if I sell the original art to a 2-page spread than I can, 6-panel continuity. So I'm sorry, I was just real disappointed with one, but Infinite Frontier picked it up. And from that's a small press publisher, cool. At least Infinite Frontier met your expectations. Actually, I didn't have a whole lot of expectations for it, and my comic people, Blue Moon Comics in Lafayette, Illinois, or Indiana, excuse me. I keep thinking I'm back in the old country.
Where am I?
I escaped. Honest, I did. But sometimes he puts things in my my Dropbox, you know, thinking I will like it, and he is like 99% right.
Sometimes he puts things in my box thinking I'll like them.
Oh no.
Yeah, and well, he's only missed once. I'll have to retrieve it later, but anyway, I should have put a chip in it or something. And but anyway, Infinite Frontier, you know, because I'd gotten the large editions, you know, the square bound ones, and he put that in there, and I'm like, oh man, this is good. This is great. This makes up for a lot of stuff. Ted Davies Artistry says DC Batman is the saving grace. Well, they shot him out of a rocket this time. And from the Decimal Small Press Publisher, Infinite Frontiers is more than Crisis. I thought number one would be picking up from Future State Immortal Wonder Woman. Okay. I didn't read that one. So, but it does have, you know, like an interesting crew of characters, you know, in that group that's going across the different planets, and the idea that they are acknowledging the different Earths, you know, and I'm just so in love with that diagram that Grant Morrison did for the multiverse, that it is, if you get a chance, take a look at it, people. It's good stuff. And DC duplicated comics, just saying. Yeah, because, you know, Fantastic Four, it's a shame the way Justice League copied them, right?
I was about to say, and Marvel's not done anything like that ever, have they?
Oh, heavens, no.
What?
Heavens.
No, they would never do that.
Oh,
nor would they copy characters from DC and make their own just like it, would they?
Yeah, and I see Clyde looking for them right now. Exactly.
The final issue came out this week, and of Heroes Return now, the Heroes Reborn final, and I was starting to wonder, because like the last few issues, we didn't seem to be going forward, or it seemed like there was missing some part of the story. It just seemed a little incomplete. So I wasn't sure how the climax, it didn't seem like it was ready to end, but they pulled it off very nicely. It was a good ending. And it also left some openings, not ones that would have to be followed up on, but could be. And I liked it. I liked the ending of Heroes Reborn, Heroes Return very much. So I hope they kind of do some more with some of the elements that they left unresolved. There are a few things that they could follow up with, but I haven't bought a complete event like this from Marvel for a long time. And I thought this one was very well thought out and satisfying. It had some rough spots, but it was very satisfying.
Very cool.
That was the other book I had in my hand. I had that one in my hand as well. But obviously, I've moved so far away from Marvel and DC because I just don't like the same stories over
Eric,
and over.
I am so happy that you are on the Image train now. I really am.
Hey, I was on the Image train back in the 90s, baby.
Yeah, in the early.
Yeah.
Well, I was too, but I was much younger and didn't know anything. And so now I'm much older and don't know anything. Because at the beginning in the early issues of Comic Book Spectrum, Wind the Clocks Back, young Eric Hawkins, porn sack, if you will, had a very jaded experience with early 90s Image comics. And then as I noticed, as each week would progress, he'd be like, I got another Image book. I don't know what's wrong with me. Now you're like, it's all Image all the time. I love it, baby.
I added 3. I only put 3 books on pull list, which I haven't had in 11 years. I haven't had a pull list in 11 years. Moon Knight, because there's so many covers of that coming out next month. Geiger, Image book, and 2 Moons, Image book.
Yep.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Image is good.
Ted Davies, I'm gonna throw out a variation of what you said. Batman saves DC. If you've not been reading Nightwing, I would say lately Nightwing saves DC. I've really enjoyed. And it's been,
Well, that's because Joe doesn't have good taste in books, sir. Oh, sorry, I was reading comments.
We'll get to it.
Yeah. But I hadn't read, like I said, Marvel and DC, not my thing very much. I was doing mostly independents, but since the show, I've also tried to expand, to go back some of those, and some of them have not been satisfying, but a lot of them have been. So we're feeding off each other. So.
There we go. And Cookie's going to have a word with you all about that, too, when they send the budget. It's even the DC, the guy that DC has their thumb in my back making my jaw work, apparently. I am reading other stuff now. I never picked up a Vault comic till this show started. So.
Who's the colorist on that, Brian?
Me.
The colorist, Kurt Michael Russell.
Okay, he was coloring on his live stream the other day.
That man's name is Kurt Russell. That's awesome.
Kurt Russell, that's right. That's why he's so damn cool. But and the color thing in there is really good. Maybe
he was doing a live stream coloring on one of the issues the other day.
Cool. Ooh, I'll have to have Cookie watch that. And Ted Davies Artistry says, "Sacrilege, Rodman. Miller's Daredevil is king."
Look. Untwist your panties, Ted. All right, look. Frank is the best. I will absolutely say that. But Bendis is up there. I like it. I like it a lot. I dig it.
Yeah, there's been some really, Roy Thomas, Stan Lee, Jerry Conway, Dan Chichester did a great run on Daredevil.
Well, the thing about Bendis, he had a lot of good Marvel stories. A lot of people liked his Marvel when he was over there. But when in DC, a lot of people didn't like his work. And I think there's some writers and artists that work better at one company than they do at the other.
Yeah.
Take Romita Jr.
Yes.
He cannot draw DC characters to save his life.
No,
they look horrible.
No.
I would agree.
Marvel, his style fits Marvel.
And the issue of, I believe it was one of the issues of the Rebirth Batman that he wrote as well.
Oh, yeah.
Awful. Oh, it was so bad. Oh, he's not a writer.
Yeah. So Brian Hawkins says Green Goblin was gone for a long time, replaced by Hobgoblin and other Green Goblins, but it was only 5 years in comic time he was gone. And Cindy Kemp says reading good comics. Whoops, that's sure not one of them. Throws it across the room. That's right, and I just had to. And for this one, small press publisher, Squadron Supreme can arguably be greater than JLA, arguably, but not absolutely better. And he continues, Eric, still haven't reviewed a book that makes me go, wow, I got to pick that up.
I don't know, Joe, do better.
I mean, stop picking up DC and Marvel books. I mean, go spread out and find some original stories.
Yeah, pick up some Image books by the guys that used to work at DC and Marvel. At least my pick don't get tossed across the room with stank and dirty.
It was only actually maybe one or two. Mostly it was the same book over and over as the Red Rooster, who Mitch Breitweiser Did his customers like that for 2 years?
Pretty much.
Oh, speaking of Walmart books.
Okay, good.
Yes.
I'm glad you didn't say speaking of something else.
Yeah.
It's mixed.
Allegiance Arts books are in Walmart. But the other day, I ran across a bunch of Disney comic books in Walmart.
Yes.
$1 each.
Oh,
Yeah.
And they were back in electronics. They had their own display. So if you got
Nice.
small kids or no small kids, I mean, they look really good.
great.
Well, one of my
And affordable. $1 each for a comic book.
yeah, and there's some
That's
good
great.
new fresh material. And the thing is also, in my Walmart, they had them near the sewing area where mom is going to see them.
But not kids.
Or
Yeah, but mom's got the
no.
money.
That's
For the
Yeah, but mom going by there by herself. She goes,
no,
don't need
mom
no
will
damn
say,
funny
"Shut
books."
up, here's some comics. It worked
funny
on me.
books.
Yeah,
Funny
really.
books.
Read these things. Make your lips move and shut up. Anyway, they are Batman. They are Batman underoos. I don't wear panties, Rodman, anymore.
You
Long
should. They're actually
underoos.
much more comfortable now.
Yeah. So in
That's
other
all
words,
I've been told.
next time you see him on any of his shows, just remember, Ted Davies isn't wearing any underwear.
Oh.
Good luck with that. Good luck getting that out of your head. And so with that, we are going to call this another episode of Comic Book Spectrum. Sound good, guys?
Sounds great.
Yeah, great.
Yeah.
You see, I told you I'd get you out of here. But anyway, I'm going to have everyone go around the room and tell how you can keep up with them. And then we're going to close out the show. And thank you all for your comments. Let's start with Mr. Brian Rodman.
Once again, I'm Brian Rodman. I author and illustrator of Memoirs of an Angel and The Nebulizer, which is live on Kickstarter until tomorrow night. You can go to brianrodman.com. From there, you can go to all my social media, my Patreon page, as well as the Kickstarter. Hint, hint, nudge, nudge. It's been a great show. Thanks for having me, Brian.
Oh man, thank you for being here, my friend. Always a pleasure to have you. And check out the Nebulizer right now on Kickstarter. It deserves you. It really does.
All of you.
And speaking of people we deserve, there is Eric S. Hawkins, sir.
I'm Brian Rodman, and you can find the Nebulizer on Kickstarter right now. There's only a few hours left. There's beanies. There's freaking beanies. Go over there and get your comic book in a freaking beanie. Do it now. Thank you.
Thank you, Brian.
I'm done.
Okay, yeah. And how about you? Are you Brian too?
I'm also Brian Rodman, and I want you to go to Kickstarter and look up The Nebulizer. Why? Because you missed out on the action figures, loser. Don't out on the beanies.
Good. Thank you very much. And now to bring some decorum to this. Hi, I'm Brian Rodman, and I would appreciate your support on the Nebulizer. It is now in its closing hours on Kickstarter. It's the adventures of it's a mini-series featuring a chronic asthmatic in a post-apocalyptic world, and he's accompanied by his feisty AI inside his nebulizer suit, where he roams the plains, killing off mutant allergens. I've worked hard on this story. Now my co-workers here on the show keep trying to get me to laugh, so I pass out and die right on the air because I know Morris will think it's a great idea. So anyway, please check out the Nebulizer, and anything over $5,000 I'm going to use as to hire a hitman to get the other three off of here and bring Joe D. McPhee on the way this show deserves. All right, hang tight, Joe. I'm
Only
pulling
23
for you.
hours remaining.
Only 23 hours, folks. That's less
Do it.
than a day. I was in school and I know the math here. So that's why Morris can't start a show, but by God, I can help you with your astronomy. Anyway, folks, thank you for watching this show. And while you're at it, please thank you to the Rising Tide Broadcast Network for giving Brian something to do 5 days a week. He's on 5 days a week, but don't let that scare you. Please check out the Rising Tide Broadcast Network for more great shows. We got your information and education covered. And entertainment too, 7 days a week. And don't forget, right now Amy Hale is on with Creative as Hale with the great Eric Asher, and then at 9 p.m. is Stupid O'Clock with that great after hours conversation. And I think Skunk Rocker's going to be wound up today, so you all want to check that out. And also don't forget, tomorrow Brian K. Morris will be having the day of his life when he interviews Karen Nicole live on on Nevermind the Furthermore at 10 a.m. Eastern Time. And the theme will be Screw Facebook Hard. Anyway, it's going to be a lively show, lively discussion. Also, don't forget to be sure to check out Brian's Patreon. Because he's got all kinds of cool stuff there, including looks at advanced works and a blog that only his Patreon supporters will see. So check it out at www.patreon.com/Brian K. Morris. Also buy Brian's brand new book, Snow Ambition, a great short read crime thriller featuring the great characters created by Bobby Nash. And I think that's it because we got to get out of here, folks. We got places to be, and you do too. Thank you all for watching, whether it was live or in the reruns, and also thank you for your comments. If you're watching us on Facebook, please give this video a like, and also like the page you're watching it on. If you're watching on YouTube, please subscribe and ring that bell so you'll be notified of anything Brian K. Morris does relating to broadcasting. And also don't forget the nebulizer. Check it out. I worked hard on this book. And it could be my last act because these guys keep making me laugh, okay? So anyway, hope you join us next week for another episode of Comic Book Spectrum. Look at that beautiful Eric S. Hawkins. Oh, I'm sorry, Brian Hawkins logo there. He does it all. And as always, folks, thank you for being here. And as soon as I get to the right spot here, there we go. And also thank you to Plasma Fire Graphics for sponsoring this episode. Almost forgot you, Jeffrey Hayes, but never can forget you because you do such great work. Check them out at plasmafiregraphics.com and also the Facebook page, Plasma Fire Graphics, when the look of your book matters to you. So as always, speaking for Brian K. Morris, God knows what's happened to him. Anyway, thank you for joining me here. I'm Brian Rodman telling you, stay smart, stay safe, wash your hands, never apologize for being awesome. We'll see you next week on Comic Book Spectrum.
Thank you for watching Comic Book Spectrum, a Rising Tide Broadcast Network production. Please join us next week for another look at comics, past, present, and future. If you enjoyed this, please give the show a like and be sure to subscribe and share it with your friends. To receive our free monthly newsletter, go to www.risingtide.pub and be sure to give the Rising Tide Broadcast Network page on Facebook a like in order to receive news about upcoming shows including Clever Title Pending, Stupid O'Clock, Clever as Hail, Comics Chaos and Sass, Tidbits and Scribbles, the Historical Fencing Guild, and Nevermind the Furthermore. See you next week.